Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take YouTube by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take YouTube by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take YouTube by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here for you during these tough times. But together, as we unite as one, we will get through this and build and rebuild business credit. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already done so. Josh is about to take YouTube by storm, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Just wait. The host of Get Business Credit YouTube channel is about to go live on YouTube Cast to answer all your business credit building questions. Our host, Joshua Van Horn, is here.
Hey, welcome to the Get Business Credit YouTube channel. Can you guys hear me okay? Please comment in the chat section if you guys can hear me okay. I don't know why my face looks so red. I think it's the studio light. Because you guys, I've changed my studio around a little bit. We have a lot to cover. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. I don't like how I look, though. I look like my face is so red. Does it look red to you guys? I look like I'm sun tanning or got sunburn. All right. So you guys can hear me okay. So let's give a couple seconds for other people to join in. And then we're going to cover so many different things. we have a lot to actually cover. This is going to be a more in-depth business credit webinar. Usually I just cover certain things on business credit Q&A. I want you guys to go ahead and put any questions you guys have about anything to do with business credit in the comment section. But this evening, I decided we're going to do a little bit different than normal. So normally I just randomly come up and cover a few different topics around business credit. So tonight we're going to go over some new partnerships I have with a couple different underwriters and companies. But we're also going to do a deep dive into the difference between Experian business credit, Equifax, Credit Safe, and Dun & Bradstreet. All right. So with all that being said, let's get going. Got my Red Bull. All right. Let me get the gum out of my mouth. And it looks like we have quite a bit of my students here as well. So just starting off, you guys go ahead and, yeah, pretty much everybody's my student that's tuning in, I think, right now, commenting. If you guys can hear me okay, please do a thumbs up or number one, put number one in the comment section or the live chat section. Why do I look so red? It's quite weird. I look like so red. Okay, so you guys can see this here. That's only like half of the cards I actually have. But I want to show you that because I don't want you guys to go after getting that many cards, but some of those cards are very good to have, when it comes to building business credit. So I wish I had multiple screens right now. I only actually have one big monitor here because I moved my studios from Cebu to Manila and I'm shipping all my studio stuff here to my new condo. So it'll be better next time. But anyways, so I'm gonna have to go between the screens. So I guess the first thing I want to go over is, well, I'll let you guys be the judge. Do you guys want me to go over funding first? Talk about funding? Or do you guys want me to get into the business credit reports with Experian, Dun & Bradstreet? What would you guys like me to start with? So I'll give a few minutes for you guys to answer. Would you guys want me to go and speak about the Experian reports and how to read them and understand them between Dun & Bradstreet and Experian and Equifax and Credit Safe? Or do you guys want me to get right into funding? And I'm going to make it very clear. If you're my student right now, my one-on-one business credit student, please don't be applying for anything that I'm going to disclose tonight. Don't do anything unless I tell you to do it, okay? Original, okay. All right, so let me get the link here. So this is going to be like a partnership that I have with LoanSpark. I'm going to put it in the comment section. Yes, there's 5 open spots right now because we just had a couple more open up, original. So there's 5 open spots, and we're just, if you stay till the end of the live, then I'm going to be giving a special discount for the mentorship if I can accept you. And after this live stream, then we can do a phone call to see if you would qualify for my mentorship. But the prices will increase after tonight. by about 25%. So definitely you want to get in now if you can. And please, I just saw it, Haven Gear, saying the Paydex score. I'm so tired of people talking about Paydex score. Paydex scores mean nothing, and TEL scores mean nothing. Business credit scores actually mean nothing at all. But that'll be another topic. I'll get into that here in a moment. Anyways, for you guys just to follow along, I'm going to put the link here. It's creditjosh.link/business loan. Okay. Just as you can see here. So this is a partnership that I have with a major underwriter. But anybody that's interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, you text now, even though I'm not going to respond instantly to you right now, but text the 937-423-9954 and just let me know you're interested for a one-on-one business credit mentorship consultation. And as soon as we get done with this, I will have a call with you. So let's get over to this real quick. Anybody that's interested for funding, I will let you guys know. Don't apply for this. As you can see here, it's Lone Spark with BoostFi. Don't apply for it unless you have a minimum of 6 months in business and you have at least $8,000 to $9,000 gross monthly income. Okay, doesn't have to be consistently for, say, the last 6 months, but at least the last 90 days needs to be showing at least like 9,000, 10,000. Higher the better gross. Okay. But if we can't get you approved, this is a partnership that I'm with. We have over 127 different programs available, from equipment leasing to SBA loans, merchant cash advances, you name it, we cover all of it. Okay. So it's just going to ask like a simple thing like here. Say you're interested in getting a $300 or $30,000 loan. Then it's going to go next. And keep in mind, this doesn't have any effect whatsoever on your personal credit. It's not going to do a hard pull or anything on your personal credit. Might be a soft pull depending on the situation. But let's just say your credit score is between 600 and 649. And then you need to put what you want: short-term business loan, bank term loan, line of credit. Help me choose SBA loan. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to do an SBA loan, most of the time you need to have 2 years of business tax returns to be able to qualify for SBA loan. The most, I would say, the easiest ones to get approved for is going to be the equipment leasing loan or the short-term business loan and the line of credit. Okay. Real estate loan, it's going to be harder. Okay. So let's just say the short-term, and then when did you start the business? So let's just say, for instance, January of 2024. As you can see here, each time that you put in an input of an answer, it's going to kind of fine tune the programs that are possibly available to you. So you can see it went from 127 to now 22 programs. Okay. What was your average monthly revenue during the last 3 months? So that's your average gross revenue. All right. So it should be between 8 or 14,000, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm not going to say that you won't qualify for a loan if it's between, say, 5 and 7. You could. It just don't expect to get 6 figures or anything like that, right? So let's just say 8 to 14,000. Then you're going to put your industry code. And this is really coming down to make sure you're not cannabis related or adult related, anything like that. So let's just do consulting. Okay, management consulting services. All right. So you can see it went from 127 to 6 programs available. And then does your business, select all that apply. Operate as a franchise, accept credit cards. So you want to put accept credit cards if it does, because that's going to open up some more funding opportunities for you. Okay. Seasonal businesses are not good, just to give you a heads up on that. And don't really put down that you have outstanding funding. But use online banking. Of course, that's pretty important. And plus, I think everybody does online banking. Operate from a home. I really wouldn't say to put that. Even if you do operate out of home, you should have a virtual office or address. So I would just say accept credit cards and use online banking. So you're still at 6. And then what are you interested in? So working capital, payroll. So what I'll tell you guys, don't put payroll. Even if you need help with the payroll, don't put payroll. Always do expansion and working capital. So let's say both of those. All right. Don't put buyout partner. Some of the times these underwriters, they're putting certain questions in there to disqualify you. So think really deep about things. You don't want to be disqualified. So if you're buying out a partner, you don't want that. And if you can't make payroll, that's also a problem as well. So these are like bad, negative answers to actually give, all right? And then enter your percentage of ownership. I'd say 100 probably. And then where's your primary business location? So let's just say Ohio. That's where I'm from. So most of you guys will probably be at LLC. Now we're down to 5 from 6. Now, what's the most important to you? You could put speed of funds, but then also speed of funds can show how desperate, if you're desperate, the amount of funds or cost of funds. So it's up to you, and it really doesn't matter. Like you could put here, but let's just say cost of funds, because you don't want to say get a $30,000 loan that you have to pay back $50,000. Okay. And then you're going to put in your name and information. It's all streamlined at this point. I'm not going to go any further with this, but like it says here, there's no cost to you, no impact to your credit score, and multiple lender options in one application. So LoanSpark and BoostFi are together, and they're going to provide, like if they can't approve you, there's probably not many that would be able to approve you. Okay. So the link is there below, and I'll make a direct video about this. But I would advise you to apply if you meet the particular situation, like as long as you've been in business over 6 months and you can show the last, say, 3 months, 90 days of at least earning, say, 9 to 10,000. You could be below that, and there could be still a program for you. It just don't expect to get, a 6-figure loan by any means. Okay. So I'll put that in. It's actually in the description below. Okay. So any other questions on that? How does Paydex score help you get funding? The big banks don't let out money based on Paydex score. Yeah, Paydex score doesn't matter. Actually, Dun & Bradstreet scores don't matter at all by any means. At all. Period. Red Bull. All right. Now, and again, I'm going to make another video that's going to break down each thing that I'm going to be talking about. You guys give me a minute. Now I'm going to pull up Experian. We're going to talk about this momentarily. You guys let me take a little quick bathroom break, and I'll be right back. You guys just hold on 1 second, okay? Too much coffee and Red Bull that I had, but just I'll be right back, okay? All right. Sorry about that. All right. So now we're going to get into Experian. Let me see if I can. Okay. So how many people have their own Experian business account? Like the business credit advantage account. How many of you guys have that? In fact, I should probably pull it up here. So somebody give me your business name if you don't already have a Experian business account, and say you might have one or two trade lines. If you're a new business, put your business name in the comment section or the live chat section, just your business name and what state you're in, and I'll kind of give you guys an example. Just so I can show you guys. Myron, I know you have it. I'm looking for somebody that doesn't already have it, just so I can kind of give an example. Yep, I know you already have it, Myron. I know you have that. I'm looking for somebody that doesn't already have it, so we can kind of give them an idea on how you go about looking it up. Anybody? Okay, so I'm just gonna search some name here. Okay. Hi Dan, how you doing? All right, Chop Chops Kitchen LLC. Chop Chops Chicken LLC or Kitchen LLC. You're out in New York, if I'm not mistaken, right? Roanoke 99, California. All right, so all right, Chop Chops Chicken. You're in New York, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So any of you guys can do this, but All right. So is that you? Chop Kitchen LLC. Are you at 150 Motor Parkway? There's several of them here. A couple of them. So as you can see, there's a couple different ones. Is that you, the 150? Dwayne, is that you? It's the 150 or 150 Motor Parkway. Or it could be slightly different, but there's two here, as you can see. But at any rate, okay, yeah, that's you. So as you can see here, there it says with trade lines, but then if you look at this one, there's no trade lines. But he said it's LLC, so you can see it's LLC. So that's the one. That's where you'd want to proceed. That means there's trade lines reporting. As you can see here, it's $99.50. And it's going to give you all this, and that's just the annual one-time fee. That's it. But if you don't have this smartbusinessreports.com/Brax, then it's going to charge you $199. So this link that I'm giving you guys, it gets you 50% off. You can't beat it. Don't waste your time on the Profile Plus or Valuation Report. That's a one-time report. And it's not going to do any good for you. This is just a one-time fee of $99. It's less than like $8 a month if you think about it. But you're going to get the Small Business Financial Exchange. Yeah. This is the sample report to give you guys an idea. So you can see this is just a sample report. LaSalle Medical. It's going to show the address here. And a lot of times all this is missing. So you always get the Experian BIN number. That's your business identification number. That's basically like kind of like your social security number for your business within Experian data. Believe it or not, the phone number is usually lacking. And that's what we call the rich filmographic data. I'm actually kind of the inventor or pioneer of the whole word rich filmographic data. You know, I'm the only one that's been publicly endorsed by Experian Business Credit, Experian Information Solutions. But below this, you should see also your business website and business email address. That's like a very good report if you have all that rich filmographic data, as well as key personnel. And it could be even a secretary, you know, you as the owner, but then you could have a secretary, you know, and you want that information there, as well as the SIC code. That's the sector industry code. And then also the NAC code is the North America Industrial Standard Code. Okay. These codes are important based on your financial stability risk rating. We'll get into that here momentarily. But don't pick always broad ones. I'll show you. I don't know if I can actually show you on this sample report. But there's narrow codes that say the sector industry code is 8062. Well, they can be 8062-.1418. Well, that's going to be a more narrow niche code within the general medical, surgical, and hospital. Just using it as an example. It could be like needles or robotic equipment. So there's these broad codes, which is just say general medical and surgical hospital, but then you could have like say radiology equipment, you know, just using as example. But it's still going to be at 8062, but then again, it's going to be 8062.1418. So that's going to be better to have a NEC code is what they call it, rather than just a broad one like that. Okay. It's going to lower your financial stability risk rating because there's a lot less businesses that are going to be having their NAC code or their sector industry code be that fine-tuned, because people just do like the very broad code. Okay. So like 95% of all reports that I see with my students and my potential students is all this data is lacking. There's usually never a phone number. There's usually 99% of the time not a business email address, not a business website address, and not key personnel. I can't stress you guys enough how important it is to have that key personnel data, the business website address, the business email address, and the business phone number. Those 4 factors are by far extremely important when it comes to getting approved. It's going to be a make or break with some underwriters. I know that for a fact. Hands down, I know that. And a lot of people think that you want to put down a high employee count. Well, you don't want to put a high employee count, although, yeah, it might make you look like you're, very successful big company if you have, say, 100 employees. But if you can't justify, say, the sales, like even on this, say, sample report, 100 employees, let's just say there's no, it's 7.7 million. Say each one of them are getting their salary. That's not a very healthy company. If there's 100 employees and the business is only doing 7.7 million, that's not very good. So like what I tell a lot of my students is don't worry about trying to look bigger than you are on, say, the employee count. It's much better to have, say, 2 to 4 employees showing and have your sales be lower than it is, say, 10 employees and then your gross revenue is 220,000. Think about that for a minute. That means your average employee is probably only making like 14 or 15,000, after all said and done, there are costs involved, family linkage is probably not going to apply for most of you guys. Now let's jump over to here. This is the score that does not really matter, but everybody thinks it does. It's comparable to the Paydex score with Dun & Bradstreet. And this is your Experian business credit score, also known as your Intel score. Again, business credit scores don't matter because they can be easily manipulated. You could literally start an LLC today, get your NAV, fair figure, eCredible, and say Uline or so. And then wait 60 to 90 days, and your business score is going to probably be in the 80 to 96 range, depending on your industry. So again, you can have those good scores, but then go try to apply for something. You're not going to get approved for even $1,000 gas card just basing it off scores. So scores don't matter at all. What's more important is actually your Experian financial stability risk rating. That goes from 5 to 1, 1 being the lowest risk. So this is more important than, say, this score. Okay. But again, scores don't really matter too much. Okay, it's not like on the personal credit where scores are a major factor. Scores are not. I actually got approved for the highest credit lines when my score on, say, the business credit Intel score was like 34, and that's considered poor. So don't get hung up on the scores at all. Okay, this is their score that you're not going to really see with some of the other bureaus, but you're going to see this with Experian account if you have the direct account, and that is your small business financial exchange score. That's the SBFE risk rating. So it's similar to like this, but then it's combination mixing with your financial accounts that are going to be personally guaranteed, such as, well, I won't say they're definitely be PG, but most of the time they are. That's going to be your standard Chase accounts, your American Express, business cards. It's going to be like a mix of those. Typically, it's the 9 out of 10 times it'll be your major, business cards that are personally guaranteed. Okay, then if we scroll down a bit, and a lot of this you don't need to focus, don't hyper focus on these things, okay? But this is the part that's very important, and this is what's going to get you business credit approvals. When I talk about like getting the high limit approvals, you're going to need to see this, like your payment trend. This is what I always stress and point out. I would say like 90% of you guys probably have this blank. It's probably not enough data. It's not going to show these graphs. But this is actually what's more important than, say, these scores. So these scores don't mean anything in my personal opinion. What's more important is seeing your monthly payment trends. So that's your monthly payment trends of more recent activity. That's typically going to be in the last 6 months. And then the quarterly payment trends. So then it's fine tuning with the underwriters. This is the data they're seeing. They're not seeing the scores. So most underwriters don't care about the scores. That's not what they're seeing. This is the data that's more important, and that's what they're looking at. Okay. And it's typically always going to be like the last 90 days and the last 6 months. That's the most important. So this is what I always preach to my viewers and students. That's why my mentorship, my one-on-one business credit mentorship, the minimum is 12 weeks. In fact, after tonight, I'm changing my mentorship to be a minimum of 16 weeks. I already have 12, 16, 26, and 52, but I'm actually discontinuing the 12 weeks because I don't really think I have like 2 students on the 12 weeks. So, and most people choose to do this 16 or higher. So that's why I kind of point out the quarterly payment trends. This is why I'm always talking about it's being overlooked and should be focused the most on, because you need to really have this quarterly payment trend if you're trying to get good business credit lines, especially no PG. You need to be able to show this. And for those that don't know, I think someone mentioned it earlier. Forget about paydex score. Forget about all business credit scores in general. But also Dun & Bradstreet, it's not important anymore. Unless you're trying to get industrial supply or chemicals or, say, little motherboards or something like that, then Dun & Bradstreet, is important for those. But if you're trying to get funding, finances, MasterCards, Visas, draw lines, revolving lines, anything like that, even store cards, commercial cards, then you need to focus either on your Experian business credit, because 9 out of the 10 times the underwriter will be pulling Experian. But if you're trying to get, say, Ford Motor Credit, no PG, business auto loans, fleet, Toyota Financial, then 99% of the time the underwriters are going to be pulling your Equifax, and they may pull Credit Safe along with that. Okay, so Dun & Bradstreet's really not used anymore. It was more relevant a couple years ago, but there was so much fraud going on during COVID that people would start the LLC just to get financial gain for themselves, for their own personal usage. So a lot of that kind of caught up, and Dun & Bradstreet is not really used much anymore for financial underwriters. Okay, so this is kind of like a perfect report that you want to see the quarterly payment trends of the recent activity and the monthly payment trends of the recent activity. But then not just that, but then you want to see the continuous distribution of DBT. Okay. And then also the newly reported distribution with DBT. Okay. And then the combined is basically your combined payment trends with those two, the continuous payment trends and the new payment trends combined. So this is like a whole holistic snapshot of the company itself. All right. And for those that don't know what, say, DBT is days beyond term. Okay. So if it's, say, net 30, you paid your invoice beyond the 30 days, beyond the term. So I want to kind of stress out, never pay things too early, because if you get the invoice, say, today, and then you want to be like, oh, I'm going to pay it very early, so you pay it the first week. Sometimes Uline's like this too. If you pay it too early, then what you're going to trigger is a prepaid account, and it's not going to actually even report to the business credit bureaus. So if it's due, say, on the 15th of the month, I would say pay it around the 8th to the 10th, somewhere in that ballpark. Pay it early, it's fine, but don't pay it too early, because it depends on who the underwriter is or the data furnisher. It could trigger a prepaid account, depending on their accounting system, what they're using, say Sage, Mass 90, Mass 400, QuickBooks, Xero, NetSuite. Depends which one they're using, but it could trigger for it to be shown as like a prepaid account, and it won't ever process to whatever business credit bureau they're reporting to. Okay. And then I'm sorry I can't see you guys' questions if you guys are commenting them, because I don't have multiple screens like I usually do. I'm going to go through this and I'll get back to the questions and then move on to the next. So then you're going to see here below that, you're going to see the trade payment information. And this is trades, the financial trades that are reported directly to Experian. Okay. So you're going to see this, say, financial services. I'm just going to use this as an example, but you're going to see the financial services would be like, say, that would be something like this, say, Expensify account. Okay. That'd be your Expensify account. That if it has like a MasterCard or Visa, it's typically, and they report to Experian, it's going to be under financial services there. It doesn't matter what the payment terms are. It can be varied. Varied's typically going to mean that it's like revolving. It's not necessarily going to say revolving. It typically will say varied. Net 30, this one would be like, say, business gas card, right? And then leasing, that could be enterprise rental car or rider truck rental, so forth and so on. Now, one thing I want to stress out to you guys is that when it comes to business credit, limits aren't disclosed per se. So don't get hung up on business credit limits, okay? Business credit limits aren't really disclosed to the bureaus as a data furnisher. I know this, I'm a data furnisher, not directly with Experian, but Equifax and CreditSafe with the Metro 2 format. There is no place to put a credit limit per se, right? I know a lot of these net 30 vendors and whatnot, they want to kind of stress out, oh, you got a $10,000 credit limit, or upgrade to this and you're going to get a $20,000 credit limit. Don't get hung up on that. The credit limits aren't really important unless you're going to actually use it. So what's more important is the balance. So you can see here, recent high credit, 85,000, 27,000, 1,200, 300, and then say 0. What's the most important is the credit that you're using. So that's what's reported is the balance. So the recent high credit, as it shows 85,000, and that shows 0 balance. That means because prior to it being reported, this sample report, LaSalle Medical, had an $85,800 balance, and then reported, say, the next month or 3 months later, whenever it updated, it has a zero balance. So you could have it reported for last month, it being 85,800, and then every month they're updating and doing the data furnishing, and then it shows that you have a zero balance. Okay. So that's why it would be like that. And that's the perfect situation. You want to actually show debt. It's not nice to show what happened here. Oh, hang on a second, you guys. Okay. So it's not good to show what, I don't know what happened here. You guys still there? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure my computer just kind of like did a little glitch. But anyways, so don't get too hung up and focused about like credit limits, business credit scores. So on personal credit, you actually don't want to show high balance. That's why I always say keep your utilization below 30%, but ideally you want to keep it below 3%. So on the business credit side, I could show you guys right now recent high credit or balance. If all this is always showing zero or like $200, small amounts like this, 000, that's very bad. That's not going to get you any type of real funding when it comes to business credit. What's important to show is like this, 85,000 and then balance zero, and then 27,000 and then 27,000. Current 100%. This is like what a real business credit report looks like. That's standard. That's normal. What's not standard, or what looks kind of fishy and kind of brings a red flag, is if all your payment trade lines, all those trade lines, say you have NABI, credible, fair figure, those are fine to have. But if you just have a whole bunch of those and they're all at zero balance or $100 low amounts, that's not demonstrating that you're a healthy company. Because even if you have 10 trade lines and they're all, small, $100, $50, $200, that's not demonstrating that you're healthy financially, because anybody could pay $1,000, $2,000 across, say, 10 trade lines, right? So it looks much better if you have less trade lines, but ones that you're actively using month after month, say a business gas card, and you're putting, a good amount of usage on that, or say a Lowe's card, and you're putting usage on it, and it's okay for it to be reporting debt. Just don't be late, of course, But then also you want to have a mix accounts, like this is varied, net 30, other credit, net 30. But then like Dash, I think Dan's here now, his is reported to Experian, and it's net 60. So that's a good account mix. The same as installment on the personal side. You want to have installment, credit card, say charge card. You want to have a good mix. Well, the net 60 is a good mix as well. All right. Then the small business financial exchange trades, that could be a mix of some of these. Let me see if they actually show. So you see how this is actually, let me see here. This is probably not a good example, but see how it says commercial card 744, and then it says financial services 344. That could be the same. Those could actually be the same, even though the balances aren't exact, but that could be the same account as these two, right? This isn't a very good example, but I don't have permission to show one of my actual students' reports. I wouldn't actually do that without getting their permission. But this is, like I said, this is going to be banking information directly from major banks. I think that there's a NAV Prime card actually reports to the Small Business Financial Exchange as well. All right. And then this is going to be your trade line experiences. Okay. So this can be like Nav, Granger, just mixed accounts like Net 30. This is not going to be typically financial. It's not going to be like banks, credit cards, and whatnot. So gas cards, even though it can be used for gas only, Wex cards or Fleet Core, BP Business Solutions, Fuelman, that's going to be here under payment experiences. Like A to B, it's going to be here. And it's typically like gas cards are going to be like a 2-digit letter, like 2 letters and then a dash and like a number 1, 4, or whatever. But you don't want to just have those accounts and that's accounts only. You want to have a mix just like this. Now, this is extensive. It's a lot, right? This is not normal to have unless you've been in business over 20 years. But you want to have a good mix. Like I haven't seen drugs or, a lot of these actually, in fact, even manufacturing typically isn't, it's done Bradstreet. But a good rule of thumb is having, say, like 4 accounts with Small Business Financial Exchange. That's good. And then like 5 accounts for financial trades, 5 or so is good. But not just having because you want to have them. You want to have them actually that you're using. They're beneficial to you, like a Sam's Club, no PGA Business MasterCard. That's going to be reporting by Synchrony directly to the payment experiences, financial trades, and then also the Small Business Financial Exchange. But it's not going to be under the trade line experiences because that's going to be your typical accounts of, like, say, industrial supply and whatnot, business services, say, NAV, Fair Figure, eCredible. That's what's going to be reported here. But you want to have a good mix. So in a perfect world, I would say under trade line experiences is you want to have about 10 different ones. If you have 10 of them there, and then these you have anywhere from 4 to 6, then you pretty much are going to be able to get approved for, I don't want to say anything, but that's going to be a solid business credit report for you when it comes to Experian. And that's going to help you get, say, an SBA loan as long as you meet the SBA loan requirements. And SBA has a couple different loan programs, right? But at any rate, if you have that, you're going to have a good solid foundation when it comes to your business credit with Experian. Now, keep in mind, you could have all those accounts, but then if it's lacking this payment data and these graphs, that's not good either. So that's why I always say you need to have that quarterly payment trend is very important. Okay, so that's that quarterly payment trend and your continuous payments. Continuous payments are going to be, say, the Dash Office Supply. You have that, and you have that for 1 month, and every month you're using it. So you need to have that. The longer you use it continuously, the better. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but you want to have at least a couple trade lines that you're using continuously and it's being reported every month or every other month. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, let me know on that. And here's some additional trade lines experiences, age trades. Most of you guys aren't going to have this unless you've been in business over like 5 to 10 years. And then here's like the payment trend data. And then your inquiries. Inquiries aren't important. They're not like on the personal side where inquiries can actually hurt you. You could have 800 FICO score, but if you have 20 Experian personal inquiries, you could get declined for even $1,000 credit card. But on the business side, it's inquiries don't have any factor so much on your score or anything. And then you're going to see your collections here. Hopefully you guys don't have any of those. It's going to show. I've only seen, I think, this one time with one student. Hopefully you guys don't have judgments or tax liens, and you could have UCC filings. UCC filings aren't a bad thing if you took out any type of major type of loan. then a UCC filing will be placed within the state office, the Secretary of State. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too deep into the Experian report. I just kind of wanted you guys to have an understanding of how to read the report. The most important thing is the filmographic data, the rich filmographic data, like the key personnel, the website, email address, phone number, things like that are very important. Sales data is not important. You actually have to provide data to Experian if you want to submit and you want to have that there. Sales data is typically going to say unknown and just leave it be. You don't need to show anything more than that. Just having it unknown, that's better. Okay, so kind of recap, what's more important is your Experian financial stability risk rating. Your Intel score is going to be the same as like your PDEX score. It's not important whatsoever. Okay, what's more important than anything is these quarterly payment trends and just showing the overall graph data. That's what the underwriters are going to look at. And you want to have these variety of different type of accounts. Anyways, I've been drinking so much of this Red Bull. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. And then we'll get into the questions and then get over to Dun & Bradstreet and a couple other things I want to cover. Okay. If you guys can just bear with me, I will be right back. Okay. Let me actually put a be right back here. Just so you guys, if someone just tunes in, I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So one of you guys had mentioned about, let me get off this, about a website, if it's important. Yes, I can't stress it enough. Actually, I've had several students get denied for a simple business checking account just because you don't have a website. It's that simple. But I have a partner, uni, that actually does websites for, I think, $79. It's a one-time fee of $79. So that's important to have. So if any of you guys are interested in getting a business website, custom, let me see if I can pull it up here actually to give you guys an idea. Yeah, here it is. So it says 149, but I believe it's cheaper now. Yeah, see, it's $79. And let's just look at some examples. So these are just like little samples, They'll do a complete custom site for you. Doesn't matter what type of business you're in, but let's just say it's preview here. This is the taxes and credit restoration. You can see it's a full, nice website and everything. You can book consultation. Like they set it all 100% up for you. Okay. So it's much better to do this route than going on Fiverr and paying $50 or $75 and getting somebody from India. Nothing wrong with that, but a lot of times they use these templates and has a lot of localism, and then it doesn't have like the full terms and conditions and privacy and cookie policy, that a lot of underwriters are going to actually look for, So it's like $79. You'll have your website up. If you booked it, say today, it'd be like $79. And then you'll schedule your onboarding call. They'll go over and ask you things like, okay, you like this, you like that. And they'll make the custom site for you, and it'll be within 7 days, it'll be launched. So I can tell you right now, some of the partners I deal with, they get denied. Some of my students and viewers, they'll get denied just because they don't have a website, or if they have a website, it looks tacky, and underwriters don't want to trust them, even if it's not even credit per se, even if it's a Grasshopper bank account or Blue Vine bank account. It doesn't pass the KYC process. So it's very important. They charge $79, like I said, and then it's like $12 or $16 a month, and that includes email hosting and everything, So if any of you guys are interested in that, you guys can just go to ueni.com, or you guys just reach out to me at my phone number 937-423-9954, and I'll get you over the link. Okay. So, but yeah, it's very important. All right. I'm going to go to the questions real quick, and then we'll get over to the next questions. Okay, are there any open spots for mentorship? Yes, I have 5 spots open. Anybody that is interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, as soon as this live is over, anybody that texts me on my T-Mobile here, I will schedule a consultation. We'll get on a consultation call tonight. I do only have 5 spots available, and I'm offering a bigger discount than I typically do. So take advantage of that. But I don't accept everybody, okay? So like I'll get 10, 15 people a day reach out to me for my one-on-one business credit mentorship. And out of those that I do the consultation calls with, the goals have to be aligned. I've never had a negative review. After 400 some students that I've had over the past 3 or 4 years. And the reason I've not had a negative review is I'm very particular in who I accept. Goals have to be aligned, and I have to make sure you're not a scammer, because I'm friends with some of the underwriters, and I'm not going to put my legacy on the line for somebody that's just looking to take advantage of the underwriters, right? So anybody that is interested, just text the number over there, 937-423-9954. Anyways, let's get this question here. Haven Gear. How does Paydex score help you get funding? Big banks don't loan out money based on Paydex score. Perhaps you can elaborate. Yeah, so business credit scores in general do not matter. Like I said, it's more about what's on the report. And Dun & Bradstreet is almost obsolete nowadays, okay? So get that out of your head. Unless you're trying to get manufacturing credit line or industrial supply, then Dun & Bradstreet's kind of irrelevant, okay? So let's jump over real quick to, I think I have Dun & Bradstreet sample report, if I'm not mistaken. So this is like a Dun & Bradstreet sample report as well. So this is going to be your Dun & Bradstreet paydex score that everyone always talks about. And they go by your 24 months paydex score and then your 3 months paydex score. This is an old report. Keep that in mind. All right. And I'm not even going to break this down too much because, again, like I said, it's not relevant and it's not important nowadays. It's kind of like the financial stability risk rating, like financial stress in your credit score case or class, I should say. But they literally have like 12 different scoring models. I don't want you guys getting caught up in all these scores, and even to get this report, you have to pay Dun & Bradstreet quite a bit of money, even if it's your own company. It's a lot more than what Experian charges. But don't get hung up on scores in general with any business credit report of any bureau, whether it be Credit Safe, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, or Experian. Don't get hung up on the scores. It's what's on the report and your continuous payment trend is what matters the most, okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that. Unless you're trying to get, say, industrial trade credit or credit lines or manufacturing credit lines, say you're a distributor for Taylor ice cream machines and you're trying to get, like, say, a net 30 or a net 90 with Taylor ice cream soft serve machines, then yeah, Taylor's going to actually pull your Dun & Bradstreet report. But if you're trying to get like working capital lines, gas cards, store cards, no PG business auto loans, then 98% of the time, Dun & Bradstreet's not going to be looked at whatsoever, okay? It's just not going to be looked at. It's just not important. I'm not saying neglect Dun & Bradstreet altogether, but just don't put so much emphasis, time into just, I'm going to get trade lines, as many Dun & Bradstreet trade lines as I can. You shouldn't do that for any bureau. In fact, that's like the bad thing about people trying to build business credit up is they just focus on, get as many trade lines as possible. That's not important actually at all. Like I said many times, I rather have 5 Experian trade lines that I'm able to use, say business cards or business gas cards, Lowe's or Home Depot, that I'm using for my business on a monthly basis, because I'm not using it because I'm trying to use it to get trade line. No, I'm using it because I can actually utilize it for my business. It's helping my business. So, like, stay away from these different sites and companies that, like, Red Spectrum and Boost Business Credit, I think, is one of them. These nonsense ones, like these starter vendors, even Business T-shirt Club, and a lot of this where you have to pay a fee up front. 90% of the time, if you have to pay a fee up front, it's not good. Stay away. Okay. Let's see here. So Dan, that was just here, the Dash Office Supply. This is one that I would suggest everybody to get. All right, because Dan already confirmed with me they report to Experian on the 10th of every month, or if it's the 10th and it falls on a weekend, it'll be the closest business day beyond the 10th. Okay. And what's nice about Dan's business, Dash Office Supplies, is I've already confirmed they do report. I checked out the data furnishing license, but you can see here the prices aren't ridiculous. Unlike some of these other sites like Crown Office Supply, they're charging, something you can buy on Amazon for $8, they're charging $54 for. Well, you can see here, a pack of light bulbs is $6.64. There's beauty care. It's like $20 for this. I don't know much about that, but you guys can see the prices. They're not outrageous prices, if you compare it to, say, others, So, and you get like up to $2,000 credit limit. You can see show the plans here. Now you do have to pay with this one, you have to pay a $35 application fee, but it's okay. So it's not a big deal because it reports to Experian for one. So that's a great thing. There's not many that is actually able to even report to Experian because Experian is very strict and picky on who they accept as a data furnisher. Even though I'm endorsed by Experian, I don't even meet the qualifications to be a data furnisher with Experian. But you can see here, it's a net 60 term. So net 60 is hard to find. I think Newegg is net 60, but that's about it that I know of. And it's guaranteed account approval. Net 60 terms. So you have to pay, you have beyond 30 days to pay. So if you ordered something, say today, then by the time the invoice is generated, you have approximately 2 months to pay, right? The starting limit is 2,000 and maximum limit is 10,000. Again, the limits don't really matter per se on being reported to the bureaus. It's what you should. Don't sit there and buy things just because you're doing it just for the trade line purposes. I mean, you can to a certain degree, but don't get ripped off. And like Dan doesn't overcharge on the items. So to start off, you just have to pay the $35 application fee, and that just offsets the potential scammers out there. Everybody has to deal with it. It's just the way it is. So you have, and then a $10.99 monthly fee, and it's reporting to Experian. And I know he's working on Equifax and Credit Safe as well. So I would suggest everybody, the link is in the description below. And I think if you use my code GBC Josh, if I'm not mistaken, then you're going to get, I think it's $50 credit you'll get for your first order over, I believe, $75 discount. So anyways, if anybody is interested in that and you want to know exact, just send me a text and I'll give you the information. All right. Next is Fair Figure. Everybody should have Fair Figure. The link is also in the description below. Fair Figure / well, the link is in the description. But if you don't have Fair Figure, you should already have it because Fair Figure, it reports to all 4 business credit bureaus right now. They're actually the only one out of everybody that reports to all 4 business credit bureaus. So like if you don't have this, doesn't matter if you're a well-established business or you're just starting your business credit journey, you should definitely have Fair Figure, hands down. I've done so many videos about Fair Figure. I even had Aaron, the founder of Fair Figure, come here to Manila right before Christmas, and we had extensive meetings. And they have a couple of different options. Like the premium account they give you, I think it's $35 a month. But then if you use I think it's GBC50 and my link, then you're going to get like $10 off for the first couple months. But they also have the Fair Figure card, and that I don't want to push that too much because it's kind of expensive. So if you get, say, $1,000 credit limit, like they're not giving massive limits. It's, it's nothing like that. But say they give you like $1,000 limit, you're going to have to pay back like $1,200 to $1,300 or so. So I don't really want to push that too much. But the Fair Figure premium account, I do want to push that. It's the same as like NAV. It's important, So basically, in short, what you should have, if you're just a brand new business right now, what I would say for you to sign up for is eCredible. The link is in the description. Use my link, you're going to get like $5 off. So I think it's only like $15. Get that. That's going to report to 3 bureaus right off the bat. Get fair figure. That's going to report to 4. Get nav prime. That's going to report to 3. Potentially 2 trade lines as well, just as fair figure. So right there, you got anywhere from 3 to 5 trade lines being reported to all the bureaus. Good mix. Then get dash. That's reporting to Experian. Okay. That's dash. And then get Growagy. Okay. I need to make a whole video about this, but the link is in the description below. It reports to Experian and Equifax. I've already confirmed that. As you can see here, it reports. There's no personal credit check. This is more like, here's the demo. It's kind of like a business credit AI. So it'll help you create a business plan. And this is real deep. That's why I haven't made a video yet. But we've already had like 25 of my students sign up for it. So it reports to Experian and Equifax. So the link is in the description below. Just stay tuned. I'll make a video about this more in detail in the next couple of days, possibly tomorrow, actually. It's just a lot to cover without it being too boring, you know. And then anybody looking to get a no PG business credit card, then here's one that you could get is the Debbie corporate card. It's very one of the most easiest ones that you could get. However, you need to be in business for at least say 90 days and have some type of gross deposits coming in. They don't make you have like real strict requirements where it needs to be like 10, 20,000 a month. No, you could have like 3 to 5,000. You can still get approved for this card. So the link is also in the description below on that. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rushing things. I just have a lot of people texting right now and need to get onto that, this consultations. But let me get to the questions real quick while I'm waiting here. Let me get to the questions. All right, I'm getting the questions here. Okay, Myron, yes, you need a website, and I think I already assigned you the unit one, so in the client portal. In fact, let me cover that real quick. For those that are interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, this is what. First of all, you need to text me at the 937-423-9954. I have 5 spots available, and anybody that I accept and do a consultation call with this evening, and if you get enrolled before midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get accepted. I have to accept you. Like I said, I'm very picky. But anybody that I do accept, you're going to get an additional 10% on top of the normal discounted rate. And actually, after tomorrow, the rates are going to go up approximately 20%. But anyways, if I accept you, I'm going to tell you to come here, clearcredit.com, and you just need to put in your business name, your full name, and email address. That's it. And then you hit submit, and then you're going to come to this spot or this area after I approve your client portal access. So there's no payment involved on this part. But once you pick a plan, because like I said, I have 12, 16, 26, and 52 weeks. But once we work that out, I have a flex payment plan, and then you get 25% discount if you do 2 split payments where you put 50% down and then 50% within 60 days. And then you get a 50% discount off the standard pricing if you do a one-time payment on any of the packages. But you're going to just fill out this intake form. That's the very first step. It's basic information, the business name, business address, city, state, your industry, all the standard stuff. Nothing too personal. This is just so I can do the audit. I'm not asking for your social security number or anything like that. This is just for me to be able to do the audit, and then you can provide any additional information that you want to provide to me about your short-term and long-term business credit goals and what, if at all, what you've already done when it comes to business credit. And then you can choose to upload reports if you need to. And then after all that's done, then I'm going to assign the custom tasks to you. And then these are going to be like the different tasks. So this is like, say, for instance, the PEX card. I'm going to give you the link and I'm going to let you know exactly what you need to do, the benefits, and if it reports, who it reports to. And then I'll have tutorials with some of them. So like if you click here, you can see it's going into a tutorial that I made. And it's basically like a guide. So it's like navigate to. So you would click that, and then it's going to take you to the actual PEX ambassador, someone you thought might be a good fit for this card. You've been referred, like it says here, and it's going to walk you through all the screenshots. So then it's very easy. You're not going to make any kind of mistakes at all because I simplify everything so you don't have to be confused or not sure what exactly to do, especially in each individual field. I break that down. Verifying your email address, the whole step of the way, right? So this is just like one example, but then let's go back. Say there's another one. Let's just say Amazon Net 30, Wayfair. But you can see, I also tell my students, this is just a demo account. Keep in mind, you guys, I'm not giving you guys all this all at one time. You're going to get 5 to 7 tasks every week based on the initial audit that I gave you guys, right? So then there's like U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And then at the bottom here, you're going to see this section where it says like a red @credit Josh. And then you're going to put, Josh, I completed this. Next. You're going to post, and then you're going to hit mark done. And then that's going to show me when I do the weekly audit and weekly check on your progress based on the outcome. That's going to dictate what I'm going to assign for you for the upcoming next Monday. So I typically assign all the new tasks for each of my students on either Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday at the latest. And it's typically going to be 5 to 7 tasks. And it's not always going to be applications. You could have 3 applications and then like 2 to 4 tasks, such as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce or, Foursquare. It could be a gas card, Merchant Circle, Show Me Local, Google Local Business Profile, Better Business Bureau, or it could be having you get a business bank account. There's just so many different variables. And I won't know this until I actually do the audit. And I don't do the audit until I actually accept you because it takes time for me to do that audit. It's typically, for me to do it straight, checking all 4 main bureaus, Experian, Equifax, Credit Safe, and Dun & Bradstreet, and then I check the secondary bureaus such as Contora, PayNet, and Sonia, and then I check the national telecom databases, so Comcast, Verizon, Spectrum, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Check all those to make sure that your business is listed with the 401 National Business Telecom Directory database, because if you're not listed with those, you're not going to get approved for any of the Synchrony cards, such as the Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard, Floor & Decor, ConocoPhillips 76 card, Lowe's. You're not going to get approved for JCPenney's, any of that, unless your business information is verifiable. and Synchrony actually is old-fashioned, and they look up those databases. So I check for all that, and then I also am looking at your rich filmographic data on mainly Experian is the most important, but make sure all the bureaus are matching. There's no red flags. If there is any red flags, then we adjust those, and I submit dispute updates to the bureaus to make sure everything is kind of matching across the board, and there's no, say, particular red flags. Because once we get, say, down the line, say 2-3 months into the mentorship, we want you to look 10 times bigger than you actually are. So then you do get approved for this high limit, no PG credit lines. Okay. So this is just kind of an example, but, Expensify is another one, it's a company credit card. I think approved for this one initially is like 38,000 I got for this, but I'm not going to assign these to you unless I feel that I'm confident that you're going to get approved. So everybody's different. So if I signed up, say, 2 mentorship clients today or this evening, it doesn't mean that you're both going to get the same tasks. It all depends on what I come up with on the audit and where I feel that what you're lacking and what I need you to do and what's the most urgent, right? So, like I said, anybody is interested, you can just text 937-423-9954. As soon as I get off here, then we can get on I'll text you back and we can get on a consultation call potentially tonight, okay? And anything that we talked about tonight, I'm actually going to put the links in the description below. After this, you should be able to see all the links for sure. And then let me see here. I think there's one more that I wanted to let you guys know about. Where's it at? Hang on one second, you guys. Yeah, so anybody that wants to get a business bank account, use my link, okay? It's creditjosh.link/Bluevine, okay? So you guys can see Bluevine is in partnership with Get Business Credit. That's us, okay? There's no minimum deposit amount at all, but they have several other business credit lines that you could potentially be approved for. So just open up the account. It's easy. It takes 5-10 minutes. You just hit open account. It's currently unavailable, probably because I'm in another region, not in the US. That's why. But it's very easy. Just go ahead and sign up for. Again, I'll put that link in the description below, or I want to say below, but here. There you go. Is there a way with Equifax to update info? No, with Equifax, no, there's no easy way. Equifax is very hard to deal with. Service Blue, any of you guys that are interested for that website, then just like send me a text and I'll let you guys know about that. Okay. I've already assigned it probably to you in the client portal if you're one of my students. PJIC, does personal credit matter? Well, yes, it definitely helps if you have good personal credit, but it's not a mandatory. I do have some students that they've got 80, 90, 100,000 having a 550 FICO score. However, I may be the best business credit expert there is, but I can't work miracles, right? I'm not God. So, have realistic expectations when you're building business credit if you have bad personal credit. Let's see here. It just depends. There's too many different factors, PJ. I see. It's too many different factors. It depends what you're trying to get, right? I mean, you could have no revenue and you could still get a Sam's Club, no PG Business MasterCard, as long as you have some underlying accounts, say 4 or 5 accounts that you have that are just, say, starter vendor accounts that are reporting to Experian. Should we apply with fair figure if the foundation score is 10? Honestly, like I said, I wouldn't get too hung up on trying to get the whole fair figure capital card because the terms aren't very attractive. Maybe Aaron's not going to be happy for me to say that because they're like our main sponsor, but I keep things transparent with you guys. Don't try to get something that is like too expensive. If they give you, say, a $5,000 limit and you're okay paying back $7,000, then fine. But I wouldn't focus on that too much, Say, follow, what link you talking about? Anyways, you guys text me now, 937-423-9954. Again, that's 937-423-9954. If you're interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship. Tonight and tonight only, I have 5 spots open for my mentorship, and you're going to get an extra discount higher than anybody else I've got in the recent months. Again, I only have 5 spots open. I'm going to make a couple videos, kind of what we already spoke about tonight. I'm going to make those, so you guys stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll probably drop 3 or 4 videos tomorrow, breaking down each one in great detail, so things aren't too confusing for you guys. The main thing that I wanted to cover tonight was the Experian report and how important it actually is to focus on building your Experian business credit up. That's hands down the most important thing, is building up your Experian business credit. And I literally gave you guys like 6, 7 trade lines for Experian just right off the bat. So if you got all those right away, even you're not going to do my mentorship, it's fine. You don't need to. It's up to you 100%. But what I gave you guys tonight, that alone is going to get you a solid mixed Experian business credit account, business credit report file that is going to start you off with a solid foundation. And stop focusing on Dun & Bradstreet. That's all I can say is Dun & Bradstreet is worthless and pointless nowadays. Anyways, like I said, anybody interested, text me 937-423-9954. Day or night, I work pretty much until about midnight Eastern Standard Time, so about 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anyways, you guys give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I will be back tomorrow. You guys stay tuned. Make sure all notifications are turned on. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I don't want to get you guys too confused for tonight. I'm covering way too much. I'll try to structure it better for the next video, okay? Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot. Talk to you guys soon. Till next time. Bye-bye.